Welcome back to Grim Tale Teller, where the shadows whisper stories that chill your bones. I'm your host, uncovering the eerie tales you send to grimtaleteller@gmail.com. Tonight, we've got a haunting submission from 2005, shared by Tom, a 35-year-old hiker from rural Vermont. He claims a strange light in the woods led him into a nightmare tied to a local witch legend. True encounter or folklore? You decide. Got a story that keeps you awake? Send it to grimtaleteller@gmail.com. Subscribe, dim the lights, and listen close. This is Tom's tale of the Witch's Lantern. I'm Tom, 35, a hiker who loves the solitude of Vermont's forests. Back in October 2005, I lived alone in a cabin near Montpelier, working a desk job but escaping into the woods whenever I could. Fall was my favorite. Crimson leaves, crisp air, the crunch underfoot. I knew the local stories, like the witch hanged in 1692, said to roam with a green lantern, luring lost souls. I figured it was just old gossip. That night, October 18th, I set out for a late hike, campfire gear in my pack. The sun was setting, painting the trees gold, and I built a small fire by a clearing. It felt peaceful until I heard it. A rustle, then a faint glow deep in the trees. I thought it was a ranger's light, so I grabbed my flashlight and headed toward it. The forest grew darker as I walked, the fire's crackle fading behind me. My boots crunched leaves and the air turned cold, mist curling around the trunks. That glow ahead wasn't a ranger's. Too green, too steady, floating about chest height. I stopped, heart picking up. It was a lantern, old-fashioned, glass cracked, emitting this sickly green light. No one held it. It just hung there, swaying like it was alive. I called out, "Hello? Anyone there?" No answer. Just the wind and a distant owl hoot. My curiosity won. I stepped closer. The light pulsed, and I swear the trees shifted, branches creaking like they were watching. Then I heard it. A whisper, soft as a breath, saying, "Tom." My name. I froze. No one knew I was out here. The lantern drifted deeper, beckoning. Against my better judgment, I followed, flashlight beam bouncing off gnarled bark. The mist thickened, and I lost the path. Every step felt heavier, like the woods were pulling me in. I should have turned back, but that voice, my name again, closer, kept me going. The lantern stopped by a hollowed tree, and for a second I saw a shadow behind it. Hooded, bent, like an old woman. Then it was gone, and the light flared bright. I stumbled, blinded, and hit the ground. I lay there, head spinning, the green light searing my eyes. The whisper was louder now, circling me. "Tom, come closer." But I couldn't see the lantern anymore. The forest was silent. No wind, no owls, just that voice. I scrambled up, flashlight shaking, and scanned the trees. Nothing but shadows and mist. My pack felt heavier, like something was tugging it. I turned back, but the clearing was gone. Every direction looked the same, twisted branches closing in. Panic hit. I'd hiked these woods for years. I knew them. This wasn't right. The lantern reappeared, farther off, bobbing like a lure. That shadow flickered again, a hooded figure stooping toward me. I yelled, "Who are you?" And the voice answered, "Lost ones, follow me." It wasn't human. Too hollow. Too old. I ran, branches slashing my arms, breath ragged. The light chased, always ahead, leading me deeper. My legs burned, but I couldn't stop. Then the ground gave way. I tripped into a ditch, rolling down a slope. The lantern vanished. I lay there, scratched and panting, the whisper fading into rustling leaves. The forest felt normal again, but I was lost. No stars, no trail, just the sound of my own heartbeat. I pulled out my compass. It spun wildly. Something was wrong, and I knew it wasn't over. Hours passed, or maybe minutes. Time blurred in that fog. I climbed out of the ditch, bleeding from scrapes, and tried to orient myself. The compass was useless, needle jerking like a trapped animal. I heard water, a stream maybe, and staggered toward it, hoping for a landmark. The whisper returned, faint. "Tom, stay." But I ignored it, pushing through thorns. My flashlight dimmed, battery dying, leaving me with just the moon's weak glow. Then I saw it again, the lantern, hovering over the stream, casting that green light on the water. The hooded figure was clearer now, face hidden, hand outstretched. I stopped, heart hammering. "Leave me alone!" I shouted, voice cracking. The figure tilted its head, and the whisper turned to a laugh, dry, brittle, like dead leaves. The lantern swung toward me, and I felt a pull, like it was sucking the air from my lungs. I turned and ran, slipping on wet rocks, falling into the stream. The cold shocked me awake. When I looked up, the light was gone. I crawled to the bank, soaked and shivering, and saw a trail marker, 1/2 mile from my camp. Relief hit, but it was hollow. The woods were silent, too silent. I limped back to my fire, still burning, like I'd never left. But my watch said 3 a.m. I'd been out for hours. I collapsed by the fire, warming my hands, dogs barking in the distance, neighbors' pets, not mine. My clothes were torn, skin raw, but I was alive. I figured it was exhaustion, maybe hypothermia messing with my head. The lantern, the witch, it had to be a hallucination. I packed up at dawn, aching, and drove home, chalking it up to a bad night. But something felt off. My camera, tucked in my pack, had a few shots from the hike. I uploaded them, and there it was. A green tint in every frame, faint but there, like a filter I didn't set. One photo showed the stream, and in the background, a green blur where the lantern had been. Days later, I mentioned it to a buddy at the diner, a local named Dave who knew the woods. He went pale. "That's the witch's lantern," he said. "Old story, hanged in '92 for hexing the town. They say her spirit roams with that light, luring folks to their death. Some vanish, others come back, changed." I laughed it off, but he wasn't joking. He told me to stay out of the forest at night. I tried to forget, but that night replayed in my dreams. The whisper, the pull. I stopped hiking after dark, but sometimes at home I hear it again, faint through the walls. "Tom." Winter came, and I buried myself in work, avoiding the woods. The green tint haunted those photos. I deleted them, but the memory stuck. My cabin felt different, too quiet. At night, I'd hear rustling outside, like leaves moving without wind. I'd check. Nothing but shadows. The whisper grew stronger. Always my name. Always soft. I told myself it was stress, but I started sleeping with lights on. Dave stopped by once, noticed my jumpiness. "You saw her, didn't you?" he asked. I didn't answer, but he left a book, Local History, with a chapter on the witch. Her name was Abigail Crane, accused of cursing crops, hanged by a mob. They burned her lantern, but folks swore it reappeared, green and glowing. I read it late one night, fire crackling, and felt a chill. The book said her victims heard their names, felt compelled to follow. Some were found dead, others never found. I checked my arms, scratches still red, like they wouldn't heal. The next day I called a friend in Burlington, a skeptic, and told him the story. He laughed, but when I showed him the photos, deleted or not, I'd printed one, he went quiet. "That's not normal," he muttered. I didn't hike again, but the feeling lingered. Something was watching, waiting. I sent this to grimtaleteller@gmail.com to get it out, to see if anyone else knows. Months passed, and I tried to move on. Sold the cabin, moved to a condo near town, streetlights, neighbors, no forest. But the whisper followed. At first, I thought it was the wind through the vents, but it was too clear. "Tom, come back." I'd wake up, heart racing, checking windows. No lantern, no woods, just city sounds. My doctor said it was anxiety, prescribed pills. They helped, but the dreams didn't stop. Abigail's hooded face, that green light pulling me into darkness. I started researching, found forums about the witch's lantern. Hikers from Maine to New Hampshire reported similar. Green lights, names called, some never returned. One guy posted a photo, same tint as mine. I stopped sharing it publicly. People called me crazy. But I kept that printed photo, hidden in a drawer. Last fall, 2006, I visited Dave again. He'd heard of another hiker, gone missing near my old spot. Searchers found his pack, scratched up, with a green-stained lens on his camera. Dave looked at me, serious. "You got out, Tom." "Most don't." I nodded, but I don't feel safe. The scratches faded, but my reflection sometimes shows a green flicker in my eyes. I don't know if it's her mark or my mind breaking. This story's my way of letting it go or warning others. Stay out of those woods at night. And that's Tom's tale from the Vermont woods, a brush with the witch's lantern that left him questioning his sanity. Was it Abigail Crane's spirit or a trick of the mind? The forest keeps its secrets, and that green light might still burn for the next hiker. Thanks to Tom for sharing at grimtaleteller@gmail.com. If this sent a shiver down your spine, subscribe for more weekly chills. Like if you'd follow that light or run and drop your strangest forest story below. With Halloween nearing, our next tale will dive even deeper into the dark. Until then, keep your fires bright and avoid those midnight glows. This has been Grim Tale Teller. Sleep well, if you can.